Today we're going to review this exiting visitors template for browse and cart abandonment visitors. Whenever you click on use this template, you'll be taken into the workflow builder automatically. The workflow builder is where we have this enrollment trigger living, as well as any if-then branches and the actual design that will be served up in this experience. So we'll check out the enrollment trigger here first. This whole workflow is targeting all visitors that land on your website. And when we look at enrollment settings, this is only targeting visitors once per session. So once they click the close button in this design or one of the CTAs, they won't be seeing this again. We'll go ahead and save settings there that we've updated. Next, we have the if-then branches. So this is where we get a little bit more segmented into who sees what. We have our browse abandonment branch, and then we have a cart abandonment branch. The biggest difference here is the item quantity that we're noting. So for browse abandonment, that's a visitor that is exiting your website, but they have 0 items in cart. Then we have the actual cart abandoner where they do have items in cart. If we want to make any updates to these branches, we definitely can, either by editing the existing condition set like so, or we can add in different conditions this way to make this more segmented. If you want to rename this based off of any updates you make, you can hover over this cart abandonment text. We'll click on the pencil and then we can change that text there. We'll go ahead and save any updates that we make. Now let's hop into the design aspect of this. We'll get into edit this first design that is for browse abandonment visitors. If we want to edit the name of this design, we can simply click at the top there, edit the design name, and then let's get into the design aspect of this. We have our image here, text, and some CTAs that we may want to update. When it comes to the image, if you click on the image element here on the right-hand side, you can simply replace that image with an existing image in your studio. You can upload a new image, or you can access any stock photos. As an example, I will look up holidays, and here we can add in any of these images to our library, and we'll be taken immediately to the library to add in this asset. Perfect. So let's say I didn't like that. I can quickly reverse that and undo it and go back to my original image. Let's say we wanted to update the text now. I can click into that text. Just by clicking into that, you can see here on the right-hand side, I have typography settings that I can update. So we can update the size. Maybe that's just a little bit too big for me. And maybe I want to update the color to fit more with my branding, as an example. Once we've updated the text, we may want to update this background. Just as an example, we're in the content container, but if we go into background here, you can see that it says transparent. So we want to get to wherever this white color lives. I'm going to use this up arrow just to get to the right layer. Again, I'm going to be able to click into that, and you can see that the background color here is set to white. So this is the color I want to update. And let's say we just want to go dark mode with this, we can do so. We can see that this second text layer here probably needs an update. We'll go over here to typography settings again. Let me make that yellow. And then all we have left to deal with is our close button and our CTAs. Our close button, I'm going to make that stand out a little bit more. I've just selected the layer on the right-hand side. We're in typography still, and I'll just change that to white. We have our CTAs here, which could possibly use a color update if we want to get away from this red. When I click into the element, we have the background settings that populate here on the right-hand side, and we can quickly change that to be any color we would like. Here's a little hack for you. If you want to click into each of the CTAs, select them all at once, you can change that color at one time. Same goes for the actual typography settings in that. We want to update this, maybe to look something like that. We can do that all at once. For the CTAs, the last item we want to update is the link that this is linking to, as well as the text. So just depending on what you update this to link to, that's what you'll update this text to. You'll simply double click, and then you have the options to add in any text here. And then when you go on the right-hand side to settings, this is where you have the button settings. So this is where you'll add in the actual URL where you want this person to go to. And we can see here, this is going to keep them in the same window, but you can't update that. Alrighty, once you're happy with this design, we'll hop into the left-hand side up here and look at the different viewports. This is a responsive design studio, so that means that your design will update based off of the device that someone is visiting on to fit that screen. The last thing I'll note here as we head back into the desktop view that you may want to change is a screen background that we have. And we'll do that by first just clicking into this content container that is this darker color. Then let's click into this top arrow to make sure that we are in the appropriate layer. And we'll see finally this overlay setting on the right-hand side. This is where we finally see that green color that we can update. Maybe I just want to go with a little bit more of a darker mode and change that transparency, and that looks good to go to me. We'll go ahead and publish this on the top right-hand side. Once you publish, we'll go back with this arrow into the workflow builder. We can hop into the second design that we have here, going into edit, and we'll make the same updates here as we did the first one if we want to, such as the image and the text and the CTA. What we don't have in the other one is this timer that we have. You can update this timer by clicking into the element. On the right-hand side, you'll get into settings, and that's where you'll update the theme, any format options, as well as just the timing that you have on there. Lastly, you have this discount code option that you can update. You'll also hop into the settings option. You'll use this down arrow to find any discount that you've already uploaded to your account. In this case, it is 10% off, so we do have this templated discount. If you don't have one that exists, you can add a new discount either by syncing to your e-commerce store. And when you do that, the codes that you have in your e-commerce store will automatically just pull into this Justuno store. And you can also just add codes manually. So if you have one that you know exists in your e-commerce store, you can add it here. Discount code is going to be new 10 off, and it is 10%, so we'll save that. And that discount is what will auto-populate here to be used. Perfect. Once you're happy with this design and the edits you've made there, we will go ahead and publish that one again as well. We'll hop back into our workflow builder, and then this is where we have both of our designs ready to publish. On the right-hand side, this is where you have this drop-down arrow to either save, preview, view history, and publish. So if we preview, this is where we're given this new URL where we can actually engage with the steps of this pop-up and click through to whatever link to double check that that's working as intended. Once you're pleased with that, we can publish this design. We will ask you if you're ready to go live, and you can go live. Once you do, you'll be able to see these designs on your website based off of the triggers you have set.